And as I asked Dr. Obiomon some time ago, I'm working with her wherever she needs me to help find alumni, engineers from this college that can be supportive of her efforts as well as the student body. So she has a presentation for us tonight to talk about the department and where it's going. And we'll have a session of Q&A for the alumni to ask Dr. Obiomon what they wish. And then we'll close out the session shortly after that. Okay, so I'm going to be quiet because you didn't come to listen to me. And so we're going to hand it over to Dr. Obiomon.
Billy, I'll pay you later for those kind words. All right. Well, some of you probably have seen these slides, but I'm going to go over them again, and because I've added a few things to it and just kind of fill you in on the things that the university, the College of Engineering is doing. Okay. So, of course, we're proud Panthers, and all of you know that we are one of the oldest public institutions in the state of Texas. And I see some of the people that's a part of our history group here, and they helped me to realize that the college started around 1947. Warner, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Is it 45 or 47? I think you're on speaker. Well, anyway, his mic went on, but I think it was around 47, but he'll correct me before
yes.
it goes.
It was, the curriculum started in 45.
Okay.
Actual school started in 47.
Okay, so that he's a part of our history club, and he meets with us once a month and keeps me tuned to the history of the college. So, of course, many of you probably already know that we are still, as of 2021, ranked number 1 in producing African American males with bachelor's degrees in engineering. We're ranked number 3 in producing African American females with bachelor's degrees in engineering. And we're ranked number 11 in producing African Americans with graduate degrees in engineering. And we would be the number 1 producer of African Americans in engineering, but 2 other schools have more women in engineering than us. And so we're going to have to go recruit and try to catch up with those schools. Of course, you know our programs: civil, chemical, computer, electrical, mechanical, and computer science. Those are our undergraduate programs. We've added a new concentration in computer science this year. Starting this fall, we have a new concentration in cybersecurity. We've added some new student development credentials and certifications. First, we've established the Chevron Success Center. Actually, it was established about 4 years ago, but now we've added tutoring and mentoring and academic advising. And this is where some of the alums come in. Some of you guys came in right before the pandemic to work with our students in some professional development workshop. And many of you helped our students with resume writing and interviewing skills. So we'll continue that, and we'll continue to call upon this group to come in and help us as we continue with those professional development workshops in the Student Success Center. We also have a career development advisor. I don't know if you've met Curtis Fields, but he's pretty good. He was a headhunter prior to coming to Prairie View, and he works really well with the companies, and so we've seen a real big boost in the number of jobs that our students are getting, but also he's been helping our students with resume writing, interviewing skills, and all those things, and we've seen a significant change in the way that our students are obtaining jobs. We've also added a career development course for all freshmen. In that course, they learn how to write professional emails. You wouldn't believe some of the things that we see from our students when they send us emails. It's just absolutely incorrect. So they're learning how to write professional emails, how to write resumes, how to interview. We also have companies who come in and give them virtual tours of their facilities. We have actually alum who works with some of our corporate partners. They come in and talk about, give them some guidance on being professional and some career guidance. So that class has really, really turned out really well. The reason why we know this is because we now have several freshmen who are participating in internships, and that's very rare. And of course, a number of sophomores who have taken this class, so we know that this class is making a difference with our students. The other thing that we heard, and so when Curtis first came on board as a career development advisor, we sent out a survey. And in that survey, we asked our corporate partners, what do you think about our students? How are they performing once they get there? And just what types of careers that our Panther, do our Panthers have once they're at those companies? And we've got some feedback from our students as well as from our faculty. And so from these surveys, a lot of students said that they felt they did not have skills when they left Prairie View. They felt that this is just students talking. They said that they felt that there was a gap because we teach a lot of theory. So one of the things we decided to do was to focus a little bit more on credentials and certifications so that we could close the gap a little bit and they could go in a little more prepared in the industry. And so we established a program in data science where we received about $200,000 from Microsoft. And we started this data science certificate program. We actually have two programs. One where the students can take 12 additional hours or 12 hours in their program and obtain the certificate. But the other way is they can attend workshops, 2-week workshops, and obtain a data science certificate. And it's also open to the public, to our alums. If anyone want to freshen up on your skills or get new skills in data science, we're offering a data science workshop this summer, actually 2 workshops this summer. Our faculty will be attending these workshops, and you will receive a certificate. And for our students, actually to encourage them to participate, we're paying them a $500 stipend. That was a part of that $200,000 grant that we received from Microsoft. We also have a certificate of engineering leadership program, and we have one of our alum who's actually teaching here at Prairie View now. He's kind of heading this up, but he was a manager, I think, at Exxon for about 30 years. And so now he's helping us establish, I guess, a semi-curriculum for the students to obtain this leadership certificate. We'll be working on that this summer and rolling that out this fall. We also have a method to where our students can obtain an associate in project management. We had our first cohort last fall and our second cohort this spring, and they actually took project management courses, and they are set for the exam, and we're waiting for our spring group to get their results. And I think they did pretty good. The students really learned a lot in the project management program, the associate project management program. We also have digital badges from IBM, where and many of our students who are in the leadership program will have to receive a certain number of badges. I think they have to receive at least 3 badges. And so we have badges in design thinking, artificial intelligence, blockchain. We had our first cohort of 10 students to take the blockchain certification program, and they are in the process of completing their projects so that they can receive their badges from IBM. We're also moving into quantum computing. That's a new heavy topic. It's one of those disruptive technologies, and we wanted to make sure that our students are exposed to these technologies that are going to be making a difference in the next 5 years. And so we do have quantum computing, and we work with IBM to train our faculty, and our faculty go in and train the students. We have many students, in particular in chemical engineering and mechanical engineering, interested in the oil and gas industry. So now we're working with Petro Ed. Actually, we're working on collaborating with the College of Education with Petro Ed and offering certificates in health and safety and environmental safety in oil and gas. And again, that it's a $65,000 worth of certificates if you would put a cost to the value of the education that our students receive. So they are also participating in that. We have certificates for 50 engineers. At the graduate level, our graduate program, we have 5 graduate degrees. You know, we have a master's in general engineering, a master's in computer science, a master's in computer information system, a master's in electrical engineering, as well as a Ph.D. in electrical engineering. And on the positive side of the Ph.D. in electrical engineering, we have non-African American students receiving their Ph.D. through here. These students the majority of them received their undergraduates from here at Prairie View, and they participated in our 5-year MSBS program, and they went on to pursue a master's degree, and now they're pursuing an electrical engineering degree. So we're very proud to be producing 9 PhDs probably within the next 5 or 6 years. We have several, at least one that I know who's graduating this year. We graduated one last year as well, and he's now at Rice. We're establishing a new Master of Science in Mechanical Engineering. We know we have that Master's in General Engineering, and we wanted to get a little more focused and get, just to make the curriculum a lot stronger in mechanical engineering, and graduate programs actually help us to do that. So we are now establishing a mechanical engineering master's degree. We received $3 million from NASA in a grant, and it is supporting this master's degree. So we've also launched some certificates at the graduate level. We launched a certification program in deep learning and artificial intelligence in the fall of 2020. About 6 years ago, we established the Big Military Data Analytics Research Center. It was supported, $5 million, supported by the Air Force. And we were able to really leverage off of that center. We were able to buy state-of-the-art equipment, some of your fastest, NVIDIA GPUs if you're into the computing side of it. And we were able to get state-of-the-art, top-of-the-line equipment. And now, of course, you've probably heard me say this before, our group is able to create algorithms as fast as those at Stanford and MIT. We're nationally recognized in that center. So we developed a certification program, and it's open to the public. It's open to our alum. You have your Bachelor of Science degree. If you want to come and take some graduate courses and get your certificate, you can, and it will go on your transcript because it's state recognized. We're also establishing a graduate certification in smart grid. We do quite a bit of work in renewable energies and solar energy, wind energy. We're actually working with NRG. We have a few corporate partners who are helping us to establish a certification program. And we decided it initiated or originated in the EE department, but it's really open because, anything to do with the environment, the CO2, carbon footprint, or anything to do with even climate change, you can associate with energy in the smart grid. So we have opened that up for all engineering majors, and of course, any of our alum who want to come and take some of those cutting-edge courses, they're welcome. As long as you have a Bachelor of Science degree, you can come on in. We're also very beginning stages, we've identified some courses to establish a certification in cybersecurity, but that's in progress. Next slide. We're very excited. We always say we have all these great students, but the way that you prove it is you go out and you win some competitions, some national competitions. So we had a team who works in the cybersecurity center. They went out and won $1,000 prizes in high-performance computing. And we were very, very excited. The picture is a picture of one of our own, Johnny Turner, and John is just exceptional. He graduated from Prairie View undergraduate electrical engineering 4.0, went on to, he was in the 5-year MSDS program, and he's completing his master's right now, but he jumped in the competition and just wore everybody out, and yeah, he won $1,000 real quick, so we were very excited about that. Our undergraduates also won first place. A mechanical engineer won first place in the Boeing flight competition at a NSBE competition, at a NSBE conference this past March. And we're very proud of her. She did an exceptional job and brought the trophy home. Of course, we're very proud of our recent win that we just received word on today. Not today, I'm sorry, in May. We had a group that competed in the Verizon Penton Global Initiative. That's an international competition. And our students won. They were top finalists, and they're receiving $20,000 seed fund, and they get to go on and try to see if they can start their own business. They're working with some kind of venture whale or something. I'm not quite sure exactly what they're doing, but I do know that they get to run with the best and the brightest. So we're very excited. I think we had a team of 4 students to participate in that. And the funny part about it, we found out about the competition in March and jumped in it and made it to the top. So that's just how great and awesome our students are. And if you notice, if you look at this sentence here, it said they were having to leverage the power of 5G and address significant societal challenges in health or climate or anything of that nature. But they decided on a project to deal with health. And again, they made it all the way to the top. We're very excited. And of course, you've probably seen this before, because I know I've said this before, but we had when I said we are very, very good in artificial intelligence and machine learning, and that we do have algorithms that are as fast as the ones at Stanford and MIT, well, here's proof. Our students participated in a national artificial intelligence Office of Naval Research Artificial Intelligence Tracks at Sea Challenge competition. We had students from the West Coast, from the East Coast, all around, top universities, and Ivy Leagues, and we won first place. So that is saying that we are the best. And our students actually won $55,000 prize for that. And I tell you, they won this, I think, back in March, and they hit our office every day. Where's our money? Where's our $55,000? But we're hitting the Navy every day saying, please give them their money. But I think the check is in the mail. Okay? We've established an innovation center. You see how innovative our students are. And we worked with Intel to establish this innovation center. And so we plan to participate in a lot more competitions and expose our students to cutting-edge research inside this center. That center is located in SR College. That's the building where my office is, down on the first floor. And we're expecting to have some high expectations there. So again, that research center is over here at SR College. So this is us in a nutshell. We're a 6-building complex. We have 1,300 students, a little more than 1,300 students. About 300 of those students are graduate students. We have about 100 faculty, researchers, and staff. And we have 11 state-of-the-art research centers. Over the last 5 years, we've invested about $35 million into our research and research centers. And when I said $35 million, that means that we've written grants and won those grants, our Chancellor Research Initiatives, but they were placed to build infrastructure. So our most active and productive research center, as you know, is the Big Military Data Intelligence Center. In that center, we have about 4 postdocs, about 5 or 6 Ph.D.s, 7 or 8 master's students, and 30 undergraduate students who work in that center. So we're exposing them to cutting edge. We also train some of our ROTC students in there too. They build robots and things of that nature because, we want to make sure that they're military ready. We also have a $5 million cybersecurity center called Secure, That was a Chancellor Research Initiative. It was competitive. We competed with the 12 schools in our system, and we won that particular grant maybe about 4 years ago, and we're making a lot of good progress. It's unique. It looks at a lot of building security into hardware. It also looks at software too, but security into hardware. One of the things that we're doing with these centers is we're also reaching out throughout all of campus. I know they have a large grant that they've been with the business school, and they're trying to push cybersecurity all throughout some other areas because security is everywhere. And of course, you know about the Smart Grid Research Center. We actually have a house that we just purchased. Well, we're working on purchasing it. That's out in the back, in one of those fields back in the behind the engineering building, and they're trying to make it 100% solar and just do a lot of high-tech things with that particular building. The cost is really going up, but we're working on that. We also have the Center of Computational Systems Biology, and that's an interesting center because that center has a lot of computing in it, but we also have a special state-of-the-art genome sequencing machine. And of course, that's a $500,000 machine that we have, and we can do some very cutting-edge work. So we're working with the biology department. They're looking at leaves and plants, and we're also looking at prescriptive medicine for cancer. So just a lot of good cutting-edge things coming out of the Systems Biology Center, and it's connected to the big military data because, you know, everything is about big data. And so we're excited about that. I won't go through all of these. This is 5 and 6. The Center of High Pressure Combustion and Microgravity. You're going to hear me talk about that a little further in this presentation, but that's the $3 million center that we won a grant for from NASA. And this is where we were establishing that master's in mechanical engineering from this grant. But what that center does is, you know, space is everything, and space is the future. So in that center, they look at combustion and engines, but how the behavior of that combustion or those engines in space. It's a very cutting-edge research center, and we're very proud of that center. And then, of course, there's the Center of Energy and Sustainability. I mean, everything is about climate change and all about saving the earth, carbon footprints, a lot of work being done in that area, biofuels, looking at plastics. You know, they're predicting that by 2030 there'll be more plastics in the sea than there are fish, and so we're looking at things that we can do to, you know, just make the earth a better place to live. So really, we just won a $5 million National Science Foundation grant in that. So our faculty, we're pushing our faculty to the max. They're writing these grants and winning grants. But the good part about it is we're taking this and we're training students. We have, in all of these centers, we have students, undergraduate students and graduate students working and learning new skills. So we're very excited about that. Of course, this is the prize, the $70 million research building. And I think Roy told me that the stadium was, I think, 63 or 67 million. So, you know, us being 70 million, that says a lot. We're at the top now, so we're very proud of this building. Of course, if you guys came, you had a chance to see us at the ground breaking ceremony. It was a beautiful ceremony. Again, it's also on YouTube, so you can look it up if you didn't get a chance to come. But everybody's excited about it. This is kind of what the building will look like. This won't be as brown as it looks, but, you know, it'll be something like this. A little different shot of the building. And it's in the parking lot right across from the EE building. That's where it will be located. So if you're right here on this building, if you walk across here, you walk into the EE building. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but if you're coming out in front of the new building, you'll walk there. You go out in the back, you see those apartments. Over to the right, that's the ag area or whatever. And then that would be Wilson. And here it is again. It's a 3-story building. It has a high bay. And this is what it'll look like in some of the labs. and inside a little place for students to eat and hang out in chairs, and huge long building, 100,000 square feet, so huge. Of course, 3 stories. On the first floor, we have some classrooms and some instructional laboratories. Second floor, classroom and instructional laboratories. But up on the 3rd floor, 100% research and graduate students on 3rd floor. Wrong direction. So here's just the lab. We have a cutting-edge robotics lab. And I think each one of these robots are about $30K. But our students are learning to program them, how to pick and move and do all sorts of things there. And one of our computing labs. We have, I think, 29 total instruction labs. So we have a transportation lab, hydraulics, geotech, materials and structures lab, unit operations lab. We have quite a bit in bio. We know the way that we planned this building is we looked at what the National Science Foundation is promoting. We also looked at the Gardner Curve, which is what Columbia and all those big schools do when they decide which research they're going to move toward. And we looked at projections for the next 10 or 15 years and what will be cutting edge. And so we tried to align some of our labs and stuff to that just so that we can be a part of it. But it appears to be a pretty good move because even if you look at the current administration right now, transportation and infrastructure is a big thing. But, with our cutting edge AI and our transportation lab, they're writing grants and stuff together. So we're just in the middle of everything. So we're very excited about that. We do quite a bit in advanced manufacturing. That's a big thing now. We also have our virtual reality lab. We have a virtual reality lab in that new building. That's very cutting edge and considered one of the disruptive technologies that's coming about by 2025. Of course, we have that big data analytics. It will be in the new building as well. And some of the units that we have in our big data analytics lab, we can actually obtain terabytes of data using those GPUs and things like that. And in the new building, it will be I think a 900-pound screen that will be on the wall where you can see how all the data is coming in and out. And so it'll be very useful for our students and our faculty. We are into advanced manufacturing. We will have a clean room where we can actually build medical devices, lower-end medical devices. And so we really do, and we really are looking forward to getting into that new building. It should be completed by 2023. This is the top of the building. This is the pinnacle. Remember I said we had this NASA grant, those $3 million. With this NASA grant, we plan space is the future. I mean, that's where everyone's going. And so this is our new drop tower. It'll be in the new building. It's a 3-story drop tower, zero gravity. You can stand outside a mirror and watch something drop with zero gravity from the 3rd floor on down. And of course, we make measurements. And this is where we'll be looking at combustions and engines and so forth and so on. But very excited. There are only 3 in the nation in universities. So Prairie View have something they can brag about. You're one of those 3. We also have a structures lab. This is for civil engineering. And in here they can bring in 30-foot slabs and analyze those slabs. They can even bring in a 30-ton truck. They'll be able to drive it in and be able to analyze, do quite a bit of work in the area of structure. So we're very excited about this investment. It's a unique site, and we probably could contribute quite a bit to the state and the economy in the state, at least in the road and transportation business. So it's a good time to be a private engineer. As you know, this year was a good year. We received quite a bit of funding, probably over $2 million, I would say, in scholarships and support for the college from corporate partners. And of course, our students are highly sought after. We have, especially our Ph.D. students who have this special area of big data analytics. We have Cambridge University. One of our graduates just went there. And of course, all the top companies are really pulling on our students. They have 5 and 6 job offers when they graduate because they're so good and they're in the cutting edge area. So we're very excited. And there's more. You hit our website. We are working on our website. We do have a young man who's trying to get us up to par. We need to get on social media, and we're going to do more in that area. We have some outstanding students who are going to help us with that. With that being said, what time is it? That only took me 30 minutes. I think I've shared quite a bit with you. So now, Billy, open up for questions?
Absolutely. Thank you, Dean. I really appreciate it. Look, I work here, and that's some stuff I just found out. So fantastic. I think it's really good for the alums to see all the great work that is being done and making us continuously proud of this department. So there's quite a few people on the Zoom call. So if you can raise your hand, there's the raise hand feature. If you have a question, I'll pick you out and unmute you so that you can ask the dean any questions that you may have, or if you want to put it in the chat, I'll look in the chat and read those questions.
Okay, first of all, let me tell you now, I'm a Prairie View alum myself, so don't be too hard on it. Take it easy. Okay, now we can go.
So Tony out of Austin, he asked the question. He said, "Did he hear correctly that the College of Engineering is working with the Army Futures Command in Austin? Is that correct?"
You know, we have an opportunity to, and we'll have to write some proposals and some grants to really get engaged. But General Williams actually came down. He was over it before he retired, and he visited our campus and he made a lot of connections. So we are planning to really work closely with them. But we're gonna have to write grants to really engage with them. They send notices all the time telling us to be a part of it and write the grants.
Anyone that has a question at all, stand in your whole space.
I'm going to jump in, Jasmine.
I know y'all not shy. So.
I'll tell you, this is a mean looking group.
Right. I got one.
Wow.
Ronald Martin.
Okay.
Mr. Ronald Martin, I'm trying to get him to unmute.
Yes,
Mr.
yes,
Martin.
Dr. Obiomon. I have a question. Can you make this material available to those who recruit students at college fairs? Because I like to have this information to sell the university on what we offer.
Okay. So what I will do after I've sent Billy these slides, and Billy, you can do whatever you want to do with these slides. But we have a web page. If you go to the Prairie View web page, let me just get to that. College of Engineering. So, and right at the bottom, it says something Alumni. I will post these slides on that Alumni page, and you can grab them and download them or do whatever you want to do with them. Okay. I have to wait till our student gets in the morning, or he'll do it for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll leave that to you, Dean. I'm not distributing it. I'll leave that to you. All right, looks like Paul Jackson has a question for you. I'm going to ask him to unmute.
Oh, is that you?
Yes, that's me, dear. How are you doing? So yes, Dr. Obiomon, Dean Obiomon, I'm so excited to see what you're doing with Prairie View. It's amazing accomplishments that you've had. And so just to fill you guys in, I'm an alum of Prairie View, did my undergrad and my master's there. And when I was actually a classmate with Dr. Obiomon at A&M, when we both got our PhDs, so I got mine in computer engineering in 1998, moved to Seattle, did research in virtual reality, augmented reality at Boeing, and then transitioned into video. I'm now retired on disability, but I still do a lot of VR things, and I'd be really interested and excited in helping you guys out to doing any kind of Unity development or VR development or AR development. And I want to thank you because you asked me to help out that one chemical professor who's developing augmented reality in chemistry. And so where's that at? I mean, I haven't heard from her in a couple of months, a year because of COVID. And so...
Look, they used all your skills and they got their project working and they didn't contact our students. So they did get to work, and it was a beautiful project. They were using virtual reality actually to teach in that class, and they sent me a video. I'm like, well, Paul and I go back a long time. We were here at Prairie getting our masters together, And we both went to Texas A&M at the same time. And Paul got his Ph.D. several years before me, but yeah, he was so sharp. But anyway, great to see you, Paul. And yes, we will be calling on you.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Jackson. We have another question from Pamela Hodge out of D.C. So, Pamela, if you can unmute, there you go.
Hi. Hi, Dr. Obiomon, and hi, Billy. I was excited to hear you talk about space. I spent a lot of years as a young officer developing, building, and launching satellites. So can you say more about some of the goals you have in the space arena?
So in the space, we're here to stay in space. That is just a goal of the nation. Even if you look at the National Science Foundation, that's a hot area, and of course the military. But it starts with this microgravity center. We hired a young man from Cornell, actually, and he worked at, I think, NASA Langley, and he has just a very, very good grasp on some work in space, and he's been doing it for a while, and so we're just kind of building off that. But we also had a $5 million NASA center here. This was probably 10 or 15 years ago, and we're still doing work with space. We're looking at the impact of radiation on electronic devices. We bombard them and look at how they behave, because in space they behave a little differently. So we're still contributing quite a bit. And this year, we are working closely with NASA. We actually have two projects with NASA where we're looking at, one is looking at the spacesuit, and we're developing, material that can handle certain forces on the spacesuit, and if you fall, that it won't tear and stuff. So we're excited about our relationship with NASA, too. So we're going to keep moving in that space arena.
All right. Deborah, I see your hand is up, but I have some people that were in the chat first. So, question from Tamara. For a PV alum, how would one register for the data science workshop at Prairie?
So, if you will, please send me an email. But the person who's over there, her name is Pamela, and I will post her email address. She is the person that you will contact with and register with. I think it's on the computer science website, but I will send out a link. Billy, can I send you that link? Or I have to go do a little research before I grab it. But there is a link on our website where you can find out more. But the person's name, her name is Dr. Bellam, Bellam. And if you hit our website, you put in Bellam, her information will be there. You can just email her. But I will try to find out. I'll get Billy to email everyone a link to this data science. And I really hope lots of alum participate in this.
All right. Next one from the chat comes from Mark Pauls. So Mark asked, with the new building coming, you plan to hire more adjunct professors?
Absolutely. So we're planning to hire more adjunct professors, but we're more interested in professors of practice. And the reason why I say professors of practice is because we actually, our students really need hands-on. And as I told you, we were trying to establish more of the certification programs just to kind of close the gap between theory and real world. But we have professors of practice in our classroom, meaning people who had industry experience, who's retiring, and the degree doesn't matter. It's about your experience, and you can actually teach. But we now have set it up to where you can come in and you can get tenure and promotion. You can get promoted to associate professor of practice, full professor of practice, just as we do with ourselves with a Ph.D. So, and these are long-term jobs. So we really want people to participate and apply for those jobs once we post them.
All right. You're very popular because there's a lot of questions coming.
Oh, well, that's good and bad.
So we have now Ms. Deborah Curry, one of my old friends out of Dallas.
Oh, I know about Deborah. I know about the good things Deborah's doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good evening.
Deborah.
Hi, how are you doing? Can you hear me?
Great, Deborah.
I really want to say thank you so much for the presentation. I don't know about my other alum whether they learned something new or not, but I definitely did learn a lot about what's going on in at the university. My question for you is, how can we best assist you? What specific things do you want us to take away from this meeting that we can go and do to help you?
First of all, the closest person who's here who can be in this office, we can get you an office and a desk. And we really want someone to work closely with our alums because you guys play a major role with our students, their confidence, and we really, really want to engage you as much as possible. So, first of all, if there's anyone who can volunteer and come in 1 or 2 days a week, we'll give you an office. You can reach out to Billy, reach out to this group, and really, really work with Jasmine, Murray, and myself, and really, really just figure out how we can engage a lot more. I'd like to start off with that. And then number 2, we do have several programs. We have a mentoring program, and we've had lots of, not lots, I would say 30 or 40 people actually mentor students, and students actually send me emails and say, hey, Dr. Pillman, I want to be mentored, and we just connect with whoever the names that Jasmine have, and if she does not have a name, then we will contact Billy. But, so we also have a leadership program, that I mentioned, but we'd like for alum to come and speak. I think actually Billy did a talk. He did a talk on, I think, the importance of networking, and I students truly appreciated that talk. But we have several alum who have already come in and given talks. I think we had about 15 talks last year, and we want to continue that. And you can sign up with Jasmine. Just let Jasmine know I want to give a talk on this particular topic, and she will give you a date, and then we'll make sure students participate. And also, now that we're back face-to-face, we also have that, the mentoring, the Success Center. If there's anyone who wants to come in and tutor, the Success Center is open from 10 in the morning till midnight, and our students are fighting to keep it open all night, and we're going to try to work with them on that. But if there's anyone who wants to come in and tutor, then we do have small little offices where you can do one-on-one tutoring with students or the person that you're mentoring. We have things that are available for alum to come in. And then we can also plan something for homecoming if someone wants to come and help us plan something, any events that you like. So these are some of the things. But if you tell me a little bit more, what would you like to do? Is there something that you would like me to add? I can definitely look at that and try to make it happen.
Do you want to add anything, Deborah? Oh, did she call me? Oh, she's muted. Yeah, I'm muted right now. Go ahead, Deborah. Do you want to add anything to it? No. Yes, no, she did not. Well, look, I'm going to say this, too, on top of what Dean Obiomon just said. Part of our responsibility as alumni is to help bring more resources to the university. There are a number of alum engineers who work for great companies. Make sure that you're a part of helping that company come recruit it. Make sure that they're coming back to hire our students. I love what LaShonda Williams says at the end of our pinning ceremony. We should always, think about Prairie View, hire Prairie View. So if you want to help the College of Engineering in your field, whomever you may be working for or your own business, come back and hire our students for internships and permanent jobs. Go to your departments, your HR teams, and make sure they come here to recruit. Because I know from my own personal experience, the company I used to work for before, they were recruiting engineers out of Florida. I'm like, dude, we're in Dallas. Go right down to Prairie View. You don't have to go to Florida. So that's one thing for sure that alums we can do to help our college and help our university in a very impactful way. All right, so this is not about me, so let me get to the next question, Dean. So in the chat, it says from Miss Davis, Satrina Davis, she says, I'm an alumni from the chemical engineering department, and we were on campus when we had our own building and Chem E labs. I didn't hear anything about that implement of Chem labs where they were separate. I'm trying to, it's kind of broken up. Distillation and chemical reactions could be an experience for the undergrad. Did she miss it? Are there any plans to implement these labs?
Yes, and we have, you did have the chemical engineering building, and then it was taken offline, but now it's placed back online. So the second floor is dedicated to the Smart Grid Research Center, but the first floor is now back, it belongs to chemical engineering again. And I just saw them do a fantastic tour for NASA. State-of-the-art equipment in that building. It has been remodeled, so if you get a chance to, come and see it. But I'm a little jealous of chemical engineering because in the new building, they got a lot of space. And I started thinking, why can't E get some of this space? But anyway, they have a lot of space, a lot of great things in chemical engineering. And you probably know Dr. Reeves, and she's relatively aggressive, and she made sure that chemical engineering was well taken care of. So you guys have some fantastic labs in the new building, but you do have, they did bring back that first floor in your chemical engineering building. And Dr. Reeves and Dr. Shameen has state-of-the-art equipment. Again, they gave NASA a tour, and NASA was impressed. They gave them a virtual tour, I think last week. So yeah.
All right, well, Dean, we have about 10 more minutes, so we're going to try to get some more questions out. So, Ms. Linton, I'm asking you to unmute.
Okay, thank you, Billy. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. I'm actually the first cousin of Deborah Curry. And we are third generation Prairie View alumni, and soon to be we'll have a fourth generation. Thank you for the call tonight. I appreciate it. Dean, I just wanted to ask you. In the past, I'm a chemical engineering major, graduate in 1997. And I went to pre-college programs at Prairie View. And that's one of the reasons that I decided to go, of course, my family as well. But is there any thought of bringing or resurrecting the summer pre-college programs so we can have that pipeline of great students coming back to PD?
Yes. So now we still have a pre-college program, but I think we call it the Summer Bridge now. But it's still the same. It is funded a little differently. When you probably came, because I came to that program too back in the day, and it was called ECI back then, and it was funded by the National Science Foundation. But now it's funded now through our corporate partners as well as the university actually funds it. And but we take courses and we learn what you're going to do in the fall, and it prepares you. So we do still have that program. One of the things, and it's in residence. Ours is now in residence. I don't know if it was in residence when you were here, but it's a little costly. So we, on an average, we're being about 100 students. We had to reduce it a couple of years ago to 70 students because of cost. And so we've been asking our industry partners to support it because we're bringing in about 250 freshmen, and we want as many as possible to take this class. But what we noticed, the Summer Bridge program, what we noticed is that the four-year graduation rates are significantly higher for students who participate in that Summer Bridge as opposed to students who do not. And the six-year graduation rates are 100%. 100% of the students that come in that program graduate, at least over the last 3 or 4 years. So first year, everything is just so much better. So we do have it. And then we still have summer camps too, like for high schoolers. Some of you guys might have children. We are having in the Big Data Analytics Center, they are having some really, really good summer camps teaching students AI. They're going to build projects. They're going to build robots. They learn a little Python. And this is for high school. I told my faculty, I said, look, I want to come to that little camp because it is phenomenal. So it should be on the EE website. But if you go to the Big Data Analytics, it's called Credit Center. You probably could sign up for that camp. We had kids, high school kids, who worked in that center who went to MIT. They worked in the center for the summer, and then one of the kids got accepted into MIT. So it's a great program. We also have a girls' camp. Yes?
No, I'm just saying you just answered one of the questions from the chat. So.
We have a girls' camp this summer too. It's sponsored by Halliburton, and it's sponsored by the College of Engineering, and they're learning robotics. But that camp is closed. We just closed that a week ago. But we have those every summer. They come out around February. If you hit our websites around February, you can find out more about our summer camps.
All right. Mr. James, I'm trying to ask you to unmute. He has a question also.
Hey, how you doing, Dr. O?
Hey, Josh, how are you?
Actually, the dean now. I don't know if I'll call you dean or doctor. My former professor.
I'm still your professor. Wherever you go.
And advisor. Yeah, let me try to get my question. We got 4 minutes left, so be mindful of your time.
Well, I'm so proud of you and your brother, both of y'all, so kudos to you.
No, thank you. But yeah, obviously I work for, as you know, Dr. I work with San Diego National Labs, and we recruit yearly at Prairie View, as I say proudly. What's really attractive to San Diego, and I'm sure the other employees as well, is a more innovative entrepreneurship spirit and mindset. I know when I was at Prairie View, at least, the entrepreneur, the goal was just, man, get in there, get a job, let's go help out the family back at home. But I saw in your presentation, you saw the Intel Innovative Center, and I even think you hired, I think his name was Bobby Melvin. I think he's working in the entrepreneurship area. But that being said, I guess let me get my question. My question is, what are we doing, especially now at the Intel Innovative Center, what are we doing now to improve that culture of entrepreneurship and innovation when it comes to our student body?
You know what? We've not done a lot in that area, and we need to look at it. But they did hire a commercialization person, Bobby Melvin. We're excited. I'm meeting with him next week. He's very new. He's only, 2 or 3 weeks on the job. But I'm going to be meeting with him. But students are really pushing us toward this innovation. Entrepreneurship. They want to take more business classes. Of course, right now, our technical electives are not business. They're still technical. So we may decide to include some entrepreneurship courses in our technical electives, if we can, and it doesn't impact ABET or anything. So we're going to take a look at that curriculum a little bit. But students are pushing it. They are taking a lot of business classes on their own and doing business minors and entrepreneurship minors. So we're excited.
All right. Now, Victor, you had your hand up early. Do you still want to try to ask a question? You got time for one more if you wanted to ask it.
Yeah. Hello. Can you hear me?
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, Dr. O, and hello to all my alumni friends. Again, Victor Life. I graduated from Prairie View fall of '94 with a double E degree, and I've got 17 plus years with AT&T. So to piggyback on what you were talking about is that myself, as long as one of my other really good friends, Christopher Pankey, we've been really engaged with AT&T to get some funding, to get some more connections with Prairie View. We've been talking with President as well, and some of the leaders. We were trying to get some naming recognition with AT&T and doing some professors on campus, things like that. So hasn't went the way we wanted to. We haven't gotten a lot, but we're continuing to try to get traction. So I take what you guys said, what you said about, what's working at these companies and do what we can to understand that Prairie View's right in the backyard with AT&T and what we can do to try to help with that pipeline.
Well, we certainly appreciate it. And again, I'm sure they probably have more of our PV alum there, and I know they're impressed because our students are extremely impressive. If they just get on our campus and see our students, they would be impressed.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Hey, good to see you, Victor.
Good seeing you too, Larry.
Hey, and I think that's very much a great point. I mean, anytime that you have any question, if you have any questions about what goes on this campus, or need to reach out to someone and you don't know who to reach, you can always call the Office of Alumni Affairs. Send us an email. If it's relevant to Dean Obiomon, I know several people that are in her team. We'll get that information to her and her team to give you the assistance that you may need to make those connections. So don't think that you have to, fight an uphill battle. We are here to make sure, as alums, that we make a smooth pathway for you to serve this institution in a positive way. So many of the people I see on this call, I know you. Thus, that means you know me. So any issues, any attempts that you may have, how you wish to serve your university, we're here to help you make that happen. And again, we're all alums of this college, so I know you definitely want to support it because, as you can see from Dr. Obiomon's presentation, they're doing some fabulous things, way more than they were doing in 1991 when I was. So very proud of that in itself. So, Dean, we're at the end, so I'm going to give you the final word before we say goodbye.
Okay. Well, thank you guys so much. I'm excited. I was excited when Billy told me. I was a little disappointed because he told me, I think back in April, and he was like, can you do, oh, no, it was in May. Can you do this in June? I'm like, why do I have to wait so long to talk to the law? But I'm excited. Thank you guys so much. And I can't wait to do this again. And hopefully we'll see you for homecoming and figure something out. Maybe we can get a float in there and win and, just take the things and some AI.
There you go.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming. We really appreciate your time. If you have any questions, email my office at alumni@pvamu.edu, and we will definitely pass that information on that Dean has available for us about those other courses for graduates, and we will send it out to the group. Again, thank you guys so very much. Have a wonderful night. We really appreciate your time.
Bye, you guys.